everybody? It's Brendan from Business and Brews, and I'm with Jason Fiore.
Fiore.
See? Knew I was going to mess up. Anyways, Jason owns Luke's Bar and Grill. I'm glad to have you on this wonderful podcast today.
Thank you.
Episode 8. This is crazy. We're like rolling.
That should have been episode 1.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
It happens.
Are you okay?
I'll be all right.
I have tissues?
No, I'm good.
You don't
I
want...
got sleeves.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on, buddy. I really appreciate it. Today's beer is sponsored by Burn the Ships. We started a little early today. Sorry about that, but we already cracked the top. I wanted to get a taste of it. I couldn't. I love Burn the Ships from Able Ebenezer. They're amazing. So today's beer and brew is Able Ebenezer from right there in Merrimack, New Hampshire. So cheers, buddy.
Salute.
All right. Very smoky flavored. Got to tell you, very strong. Drink too many of these, you will be falling over. All right, so Business and Brews with my man Jason. Let's talk about it. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, buddy. So, who is Jason? Who is Luke's and who is Jason?
Who is Luke's and who is Jason? How deep do you want to go?
I don't know. Let's start off with Jason. Let's learn the backstory about my man Jason.
All right.
What we got?
So I started off cooking when I was 14 years old. I worked for a couple of restaurants here and there. I started off the true restaurant, which was Ronzio's in Merrimack, where the walk-in clinic is now, by the Budweiser plant. It used to be Ronzio's. I started off as dishwasher and moved my way up through the ranks. Had a little backfalling in high school. You all know where it's. Don't forget where you came from. We'll get into that if you want to get into that. If not, that's cool.
No, we listen. We have plenty of time, so let's do it. We'll get into it, but finish.
So started off cooking, worked my way up, and then I landed a place. It was called Mama's, which was over on Canal Street in Nashua.
I do remember that place.
DNR Towing. A little tiny hole in the wall. Guy owned it. His name was Mike Farazani. I called him my father because I didn't have a dad growing up really. Took me under his wing, threw me into the fire. He became a silent partner of a restaurant out in Salem. Used to be Voters off Exit 2. Then it became the Millstone Manor. He was a silent partner in the background. The main owner lived upstairs. Told me to go over there and open the restaurant. So that's how I learned. I knew absolutely nothing about it. Just threw me into the fire and said, here you go. This is what you got to do. This is how you have to do it. And that's where I learned the concept of running and overseeing a restaurant. Long story short, after about a year and a half, the main owner who lived upstairs decided he wasn't paying the bills. Restaurant shut down, and I went back to Mama's. Then I tried getting out of the restaurant gig, going into nursing. Went into nursing for a little bit, got out of that, went into Comcast. All meanwhile, during that, I was moonlighting, doing cooking, bartending, serving kind of stuff. And January 31st, 2019, I landed a bartending gig at Luke's. Started there, and about 2.5 months after that, spoke with the main owner, who was the David David. Spoke with him, told him I wanted in, told me I had to prove myself, did management, and right after that, I was bought in and part owner in the background for it. Built it up. Well, I didn't build it up. Brought in things like little ideas and stuff on my aspect of building it up. Everybody bought into the system, and there's an amazing crew. Partaked in it, and the restaurant just started growing. Fell more and more in love with it. Put everything I had into it. Then we had the soda shops up in Franklin and Laconia. That was part David's. He wanted me to take those over, or one of them over up in Laconia. We had Joey's Diner. That was out in Amherst Street, the big silver building on Amherst Street. We had Black Forest Cafe out in Amherst. And then we had Bellissimo, which was in Nashua, where we took over Fratello's. Mm-hmm. Funny story about that was when it was Villa Banca and Cafe Pavone, I actually worked at both of those restaurants before. So it was kind of cool going back in there. I worked with Martha's Exchange for about 10 years. That's where I met my wife. She was a server and a bartender.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Christine, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. straighten my ass out. So we decided that it was time to focus on Luke's. The partnership that I had with another partner who was a chef at the time just didn't work out. And we closed Bellissimo. We sold Bellissimo. We sold we sold Joey's Diner. Sold the soda shop. And then just recently we sold Black Forest Cafe. My oldest son, still works over there as a chef. So it's kind of cool that they kept him there also. They kept my granddaughter, who also works over there in the market. So it was pretty cool, but it was time to just focus on Luke's and grow my baby, and now that's the only one.
All right. Of course, there's always hard times working in the kitchen, right?
100%.
I dealt with it. I was a line cook and ran a business for people.
Valentino's.
Yeah, Valentino's back in the day. Yep, that's actually how I met my wife, who tried to get me fired. I just want to say that at Valentino's. Actually, you know what? I actually want to throw this out there if you don't mind. Can I just kind of can I talk about this? So listen, I met my wonderful wife Marcy. This is actually where Luke's is now. Used to be called Valentino's, and so I ended up jumping from job to job. I was going as a sous chef. I was actually a sous chef at there's a place out in Burlington, Besitos Mexican restaurant out there. And I worked for them. I was their sous chef. I was the only one that spoke English in there. Actually, my friend Orlando was the one who got me the job. Everybody else on the line spoke Spanish. So it was my first Mexican gig.
Awesome.
So I ended up, then my buddy Matt DiPaolo decided he wanted me to get into, to come help him out at Valentino's. And this is when this guy, John White, was the owner. It wasn't Rick DeFleece. Rick DeFleece sold it over to John White. So then I went in there as one of their highest paid sous chefs to fix it. So first day I get in there, right? First thing you do, okay, listen, this is just chef's experience, okay? Mm-hmm. Just knowledge. So I go in, there's no ticket on the board. I walk in, and there's a pizza in the oven. First thing you look at it, you're like, oh, this pizza's done. I looked at the whole pizza. It was done. I was like, okay. And there was no ticket. So you see no ticket, you're like, oh, crap, somebody left this. They left it in here, and then they took off. So, right. And there was no one else except for me in the kitchen. Yeah. So I take the pizza out, cut it, throw it up. I'm like, hey, I don't know if this is someone's food, but it's up in the window. So my wife, at the time, she's not my wife, but she's my wife now. But she was working there, and she comes over and says, she takes the pizza, brings it to the table, to the bar, and she comes back. She goes, you can read? Throws a ticket at me. I know, she says, well, you can't freaking read? And I was like, what are you talking about? I said, there's no ticket, there's no nothing. There was a pizza in the oven. Nobody told me, and I just cut it, and I took it out. So I'm sorry. She goes all the way to the front she goes to the bar, prints out the ticket, and then throws it at me and says, read it. So I take the pizza, I had to remake the whole pizza over because it was a well-done pizza. You can't take a cut pizza and throw it back in the oven because what's going to happen is all that shit's going to, you know how it is. Yeah. So anyways, long story short is I went into this kitchen, and listen, I'm going to tell you right now, when you have experience with cooking, you can go in and help a kitchen. Like me, it's like the best way you can say is like double Dutch, right? You're sitting there waiting. You know when your time is in to jump in and help out.
True story.
So anyways, I went into this kitchen, and I went in there with confidence because they had nobody. There was just this one guy named Wellington. There was Wellington, and then you had your fry guy, you had your pizza guy. I think his name was Nasty. You had another guy who didn't know how to work saute, but I ran saute middle, and then you had fry and pizza and all that. So anyways, I went in there, and my buddy Matt, I said to him, because I had to run that middle that day. This is the same day my wife's trying to get me fired. Yeah. This is all in the same day. So not only that, the person who was supposed to run the middle called out because they used to work for me way back, and they didn't like me. So they called out.
They didn't like you?
No, they didn't like me. So listen, they called out. They called out that day, right? So I had to run the middle. I had no idea. So I go to my buddy Matt DiPaolo. I'm like, I need your menu. Bring me your menu right now, and I'm going to work off this menu. Like, anybody who orders any food, I will run saute in the middle. Yeah. But I need fry, this and that. And then I had another guy who was working on saute too, like somewhat, but he was always under the weather. So anyways, I'm sitting there, dude. They're ordering all this food. And as people are ordering this food, I'm sitting there with a smile on my face and everything. And I'm reading each ingredient that's on the menu. Because Valentino's menu was like this one. Yeah, like if you opened it up, it was like 14 pages long. Yeah. So I'm sitting there reading every ingredient, reading everything that needs to get done and how it's supposed to be made. And this is all my first day. Dude, I crushed it. Yeah. That's how you know. And then it was funny too because not one complaint came back. Not one complaint. And I'm sitting there and these guys are watching me. They're like, yo, you worked here before? I was like, nah, I used to work at the Valentino's market, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, And then ever since that day, she tried getting me fired. And then one day she saw me, saw that I was a great guy, and she fell in love. So that's how I met my wife.
There you go.
But yeah, she tried getting me fired on the first day.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
That's a little background about us, about me, my wife. I gotta say, and I should have saved that for when we do my segment, but couldn't help it because you work there. You work at Luke's. I used to work.
There's actually people still that work at Luke's that were with Valentino's. The owner and his wife actually came in for dinner. I think it was Friday night, either Thursday or Friday night. It was one of the nights I wasn't there.
The Fleeces?
I think so.
Yeah.
Penny was the one that told me that the owners are here of Valentino's, so I asked her to give them my card with my cell phone because I'd love to sit and chat.
Listen, that man was he knew how to open up restaurants. I'll tell you that. It was pretty cool. So
Christine and I went there when they first opened, and it was really good. And then we went there. I had to go there for Comcast. Comcast had their Christmas party there.
Yep.
And that was when Steven Tyler's mom was over in Nashua, and I think that was when the second owner had it, and we were there for that. But Comcast would have their parties there and stuff, and then it turned over to Town Tavern, and this guy Gary Deese, or D Simone, we call him Deese. I actually went to high school with him.
Okay.
So he was the manager over there and stuff, and I think he's working, I think, in Bedford or something. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a small world. Once the girls were talking about the manager, when I first started working there, they're like, oh yeah, and, they didn't keep the old manager, Gary. He was such an amazing guy, and he in high school he was a wicked cool dude. But yeah, it's got a lot of history. It's
those walls could talk.
Yeah, 100%. And there's a lot of people that come in that, were there when it was Valentino's, were there when it was Town Tavern, and then they're just talking about thinking their thoughts on when Luke's took it over. There was a lot of misconception from talking with people in Litchfield and Pelham and surrounding towns. They were thinking that we just bought the name and just kept the food, and anytime that we bought any restaurant, we didn't buy the restaurant. Yeah, the name. We just bought like the contents of it and made it into make them into who we are, our personality, and how we want to do things.
Well, the one thing I will say, it seemed like that building was a curse at one point because there was like, switching owners left and right because it went from one, it went from one other owner to another owner to another. So, you know what I mean? Now to see how well it's doing, you know what I mean? And how much you guys do for the town. And, you guys are very well known and you guys have done so well with the menu. I know it's your staff too. 100% you couldn't do it without your staff. And I know that. And I got to tell you, between the food, you guys kill it. What was the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge was just keeping everybody together. There was like anybody that's new that comes in doesn't know the environment, and we try to keep the environment the same. It's a big dysfunctional family, but we love each other. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten phone calls at 2:30 in the morning asking me to go here and go to this place and bail this person out, and asking people for guidance and for help and stuff. And that's what my wife and I are all about. That's what anybody that's working at the restaurant, management, anybody, where a lot of them would give the shirt off their back.
Yeah.
But there's also, it could be animosity, there could be cancer that goes through to where it just makes the morale just start to dwindle down. That's where it becomes a very uncomfortable time of cutting that cancer out and letting it go, to rebuild the environment the way that it is. We're very proud of our environment. We're very proud of our staff. We're very proud of our history. We're very proud of what we plan on doing in the future and how we plan on growing. But it's we are our customer's customer. Anybody that talks to us about the menu, all the home cooking That's Chef Derek Hurling. He's from Hudson.
Yeah, nice kid. I actually had a drink with him the other night at Lynn's. Very nice kid.
He's a great kid.
Very
He's
nice
a great kid. Very talented. Putting twist on little menu things, and that's what it's all about. You can get a chick parm anywhere you go. Any restaurant, any Italian restaurant. The love and little research on things and little techniques that you do is what separates you from anybody else, and that's what we take pride in doing. We're looking to get to when we hit 2026 to be about a 90% scratch kitchen. To be 100% scratch kitchen, it's not going to happen, especially if it's like, you have to make everything in-house. We got so busy that we have a company that does our dough for us. We spoke with them about doing our own recipe, so they helped us out with that. Now we're changing a lot of things, doing our own sauces. It's all the chef's own little twist on all the things to make it their own. All the burgers now, the evolved burgers. There was burgers that were started off in 2019. The Bronco burger, the All-American burger. A lot of the burgers that you see, around in the community.
We gotta see if we can make a Be Nice burger.
Make a Be Nice burger.
Yeah,
we'll work on that.
We should listen. I'm serious. We should sit down and talk about it.
We'll work on that one.
I'm kidding.
No, we do a lot of different things.
I know you guys have the park and rec, which is pretty cool.
Yep. Cindy. Cindy. She's the one who came up with that. That's what we're about. A lot of, like I was saying, a lot of the burgers that we have, especially the smash burgers, that's Chef Antonio. That's my sous chef. He specializes in all the sauces and little techniques and stuff to kick it up a notch, but to keep it as it's meat and potatoes town. Mm-hmm. It's home cooked meals. Like when you come into Luke's, you're coming home. And that's why that's the environment that we try to make. Anybody that asks about the food, they're gonna know the chef that made it. Yeah. The specials and stuff. When you sit there and walk around, a lot of the people are regulars, and plus other people that come in that I haven't seen before, they recommend food. We run it as a special. If you look at our menu now, a huge portion of our menu is suggestions from our customers.
But you also, too, what I got to tell you is you always have your seasonal menus, too.
100%.
And it's good to come in there and see all the different ones as you go. I mean, your famous lobster roll that you guys do every summer, which, unbelievable. The sizes, too. They're, you're getting your money's worth. Not only that, you go out into a boat.
It was killing me.
You go out to a boat. You go out into a boat, and you actually go and pick your lobsters.
Hell yeah.
Right?
That's the way you got to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, he's not catching them. He's just going out there. Yeah. He's picking the right ones that need to get done.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go a little off topic for a second because actually there's one thing I want to say. Now, when I used to work at Valentino's, there was this guy there, and he was most actually humble guy. I'm going to use your words. And actually, I've been using the word humble a lot in all my podcasts to basically, and I always refer you. I say, Jay, like Jay says, you got to be humble. Mm-hmm. This is humble gentleman that used to work there. And I got to tell you, and it makes my wife very happy every time she walks in there and sees is that chair that you guys kept.
Yeah, I know you're
the Jerry chair. And I actually was there when I was actually the one who put the plaque on. When it officially, at first it was with glue. I don't know if it had to change or anything like that. But that was his chair, and I'm going to tell you, every time I walked in, you always went in to see Marcy. That was his favorite person. Yep. But every time I come in, Jerry was always in the same seat, the same time, every single day. He never missed a beat. When she worked, he was there, and they built a really good friendship, them two. And to basically go into to go in there after all these changes, and you still have the chair there. She knows she stopped going. So she stopped going to that restaurant for a very long time because when he passed, it was like the hardest thing for her. Because when I tell you, when he went there for her. Because that's how he met her. Met her through the service and everything like that, and they became best friends. And when we went in there, she was wicked. It was the first time we went there in a long time when it was Luke's. We didn't go to Town Tavern, whatever it was called, the Town or whatever it was before that. Tavern, yeah. We went there when it was Luke's. And it was very, very, very hard for her. And I said, well, how about this? Let's go in there. Let's go see if they still have the chair to show the respect and love, and we'll go in there, have a drink and a meal, and see how everything's going. And I didn't even know you yet, so we didn't talk yet. Yeah. We walked in and she started tearing up because she was so happy to see that you had that chair there. Now, a lot of people who used to go to Valentino's, they know my wife. They know my wife very well. Marcy, she was very loud and obnoxious. That's my wife. I love her. I got to tell you, I met her. Like I said, she tried to get me fired. But for you guys to keep that chair meant so much. And you really, I really wish you guys could have seen the bond between them two. Yeah. It was unbelievable. But for you to keep that chair, man, it meant so much to her. And I really want you to know that. I know it's just a chair, guys, but if you would have met Jerry and you known Jerry, I'm telling you right now, that guy brought in more light than the sun. That guy always brought joy in whatever room he ever walked into. So I just want to say, I know I went off topic on that, but seriously, thank you so much.
No, I actually learned something new about that just a couple days ago when I was talking with one of our regulars, Karen. We call her the mayor, because she runs all the stuff. She puts together the surprise parties, and she puts together the surprise party for my wife and stuff like that in the background. So yeah, we love Karen. But we were talking about the chair, and I was like, that every single time, every Sunday when you come into Luke's, Karen's in the corner and she's got the chair, because Jerry was the mayor of Luke's. You know what I mean? And I never had the honor of really getting to know Jerry. I remember his face, but I really had the honor. I'd never had the honor to really get to know him. As everybody else knows him, and I've heard hundreds and hundreds of stories about him. But she educated me just the other day to where she was like, yeah, if you look on the bottom of the chair, she's like, all of us sign the bottom of the chair. And I'm like, shut up, dude, right? So I went over, flipped the chair over. I was like, holy shit, there's tons of autographs on the bottom of the chair. And I was just like, that's a whole lot of love put into this chair and stuff. So now Emily, who's one of the other regulars and stuff, she hung out with him all the time as well. Now it's when it's his birthday, we basically what we do with Memorial Day, we take the chair and tilt it up and put a beer in front of it.
Bud Light, right? There's Bud Light.
And that's Jerry's drink for the day.
Well, listen, like I said, man, it's really cool. If you ever get a chance and you're at Luke's and you see the chair, I'm telling you right now, Jerry, God rest his soul, great guy, and like I said, man, it was so cool that you did keep that. So back to the Luke's, all right? All right. So how did it feel when you got those keys and that was your building, right? You and Christine's building.
Amazing.
When you opened the door, when you had to put the key in, how was it? You knew it was yours.
It wasn't real. It wasn't real. We finally, not finally, but we had the honor of buying out our main partner, who started it all, and he started all the other restaurants. The Luke's, Luke's was his 99th restaurant. When we did Bellissimo was his 100th restaurant. Now he retired. He wanted to go back to Greece, and he just comes home. Yeah, actually, he's home right now. Comes home for the family for the season, the holidays. To hang out with the kids and stuff like that, and then he goes back to Greece. He wanted to be out. That point in time where we signed the official paperwork of changing the LLC, and every single thing was officially changed over to just my wife and I as sole proprietors. We've been part owners since, like I said, 2020. But being sole proprietors, it wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a lifelong goal that I've had for myself since I was very young, that I wanted to own a restaurant. And a lot of it was, you'll never own a restaurant. If you own a restaurant, it'll fail. You're a bum, you're a loser, blah, 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 blah. Now it's, here I am, well, not here I am, here we are. And it's bliss. It's absolute bliss, because all the stuff that we're doing now, not forgetting where we came from, especially how society is today, and everything that's happening, and having gone to the Hudson food pantry, they gave us a tour, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's cool. We'll check it out. And we went and dropped off all the stuff and the check for the Park and Rec burger. Went downstairs, and then he started talking. Carlos is the main guy. Carlos and Karen. Carlos was there. He started talking, and I met Brian, who's been there 17 years, I think it was. Carlos has been there, I think he said it was like 20-something years. He's been volunteering his time there. And then, like, I met all these other people in the rooms that they have of stuff, and then they have a kids section, and they have a non-perishable section, they have a perishable section, they have a frozen section. And I'm just sitting there looking at all this stuff. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. He's like, yeah, we need help. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Because, like, I see a lot of food. I'm like, dude, this is great, helping so many people. And he's like, yeah. He's like, we did 60 meals a day. 60 meals a week, I'm sorry. 60 meals a week. And I'm like, wow. He's like, yeah, in the past month. I was like, yeah. He's like, it grew to 80. I'm like, 80 meals a week? And he's like, or 80 families a week? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, now they have a program to where on Friday, they put bags together, bring them to the schools, give them to the guidance counselors, and they're taken home over the weekend. So the kids have food over the weekend.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And then we're sitting there talking more about it. And he was like, yeah, Thanksgiving. And I'm like, oh, cool. He had a whole section for Thanksgiving. And Eversource, Eversource was coming down. They had a bunch of people, and they're putting together these packages and stuff for people to take home for Thanksgiving. They were doing all the dry goods and everything, like getting it all ready to go. And I'm like, that's freaking amazing. I said, what do you need? And he's like, well, right now there's over 150 people on a list that need help for Thanksgiving just in the town of Hudson.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what do you need? And it was just everything that you cook for Thanksgiving, like your basic needs for Thanksgiving. I was like, do you do turkeys and stuff? Like, they have freezers. You can donate frozen goods, frozen food and stuff. They put them in a freezer. They're trying to get as many turkeys as they can, but if they can't get enough turkeys for everybody, then what they do is they do I think he said $20 gift cards to Market Basket, so they can go and buy a turkey, a Market Basket and stuff. And I mean, like, it hit Christine and I like in the gut, and I'm sure it hits many people, because again, everybody has their own story,
Yep.
And everybody has their own scars from life. But it was like when I lived with my mother, when I was with my mother as a kid, we were on welfare, grew up more as I got out of my house and stuff. Lived out of a car for a while, but I was blessed to have my friends couch hop and stuff, so I know what that's like. And then having our kids, Christine and I, when we got together, we were on WIC. We needed WIC, the help from WIC and stuff, and there'd be nights. My daughter actually just said, told a story that she told us, and that we didn't know she remembered, but she remembered, Christine coming home and getting ready for cheerleading and stuff, because she was a cheerleading coach and everything. So she fed the kids. There was pasta, the kids were eating pasta, the whole 9 yards. And Erica was like, Ma, you gonna eat? She's like, I'll eat when I get home. And she left the room, and Erica went over to the pot. There was no pasta left. That's, kids eat, If you don't eat that night, you don't eat that night. You figure it out. But
Yep.
Your kids always eat. And she wound up telling us that story that she like remembered that. And it was just like, that hit home. And now, learning what I learned now with the food pantry and how that is, it's just like, it's insane how much help there's needed. But in all actuality, like, it's me speaking for myself. It's always in my head, like, anybody that's hungry, you know what I mean? You're going to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't pay, or, you're starving or something like that, we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? But it's just like, you see all these people coming in and laughing and having a good time, and they're eating, and they're, this food's great. And, and you get all these reviews and all this stuff, and everybody loves it. And it feels like home. And, the bar, it feels like you're in your basement, hanging out with your friends and everything. And it's great. But at that moment, it's in your head, everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because your environment is a great, positive environment. It's a beautiful place to be. You're with beautiful souls and stuff, and it just feels right. But outside the door, it's totally different. And that's the thing. That's the common misconception not misconception, but that's the common thing that we all like forget about every once in a while.
When it does get down to it, I'm not going to get into it with myself because I'm going to wait till it's my episode to do it. But yeah, 100%, man. Like I said, man, I know because I went through it as a kid. I was 12 years old dealing with it. And even actually earlier than that, I was 10 years old dealing with that. So that's why I'm trying to do as much as I can with the community now to try to help and do whatever is possible. I'm gonna kind of go off topic a little bit because I wanna get a few things in, and then I'm gonna go back. I kind of want to go back to this. I want people to know. Let's give the background. How did Luke get its name? Like what is that all about?
So the owner, like I said, the original owner, David, his nephew is a twin brother of they were up in Exit 32, Village Pizza and Enzo's, like those pizza places up there. They were twin brothers. They went over to Greece because the whole family, they're Greek. They went over there. They were on a visit, and the story that I was told was they were there visiting and stuff, and I believe it was for the twins' birthday. They were going around a corner, truck hit the car, and the car was dented. But I guess like a couple hours later, Luke actually passed away of a brain hemorrhage is what I was told. So the restaurant was, carried on by him, talking with David about him, because when you walk into Luke's, you look over at the fire mantle to the left-hand side. On top of the mantle, there's a young gentleman picture sitting up there, and that's Luke. Talking with David, he was, the life of the party, outgoing personality. He was definitely 100% a ladies' man, is what David said, But it was, again, another person that, I didn't have the honor to meet, and I wish I did, just by the picture that was painted by David and his family. But yeah, that's who Luke's is.
So you guys hear that? That's what it's all about. So when you go into Luke's, if you haven't seen it yet, check out the mantle to the left. You'll actually see his picture up there, which guy's smiling.
Yeah, that picture is actually of him in Greece.
That's actually a stud. He does look like a stud in that picture. I'm not gonna lie. He looks like a stud.
Yeah.
So
GQ all the way.
So I'm gonna go back into the whole thing where you guys did. So I remember COVID. Yeah. You guys helped out during the COVID time. Now, did you own Luke's then? Or were you still in partnership?
So no, it was, so there was like a lot of people were like released, if you will. So everything was shut down. So I was involved in it, but I wasn't directly 100% there. The whole thing was put together. There used to be there was a pizza guy. His name was Jay.
Yep.
He was sitting there and he came up with the idea. He's like, hey, why don't we give the food away to the kids? And Penny, who's the GM, she's been there since Valentino.
Oh, yes, she has.
She's my GM. She was like, let's do it. And she put it all together. The whole crew was there. Everybody jumped in. Everybody came in. And we're all sitting there doing everything, getting the meals together, whole 9 yards, advertising it. And it started off with, the kids coming through.
Yep.
Penny, I believe she had her son Ryan, was down there handing out meals as well. It grew. It kept going. There was nurses that were coming through because they'd work first shift, have second shift off, and then they'd have to be back for third shift. So it got to the point where more meals were being done to give them out to the nurses, so that when they go home, the kids had the meal, and then they had the meal at night, and the meals for them. Next thing you know, parking lot's filled with people. News 9 comes down. They do a segment for it. And then just everything took off, and that just stamped the footprint of what the heartbeat of Luke's is all about. And it's about the community. It's about stepping up when it's time to step up, and it's about, no kid goes hungry, man.
And I got to tell you, I wasn't a business owner yet. I was working for Crown Linen. But I heard the story about what you guys did, and during COVID, for everything to get shut down and for you guys to do such a great job. And actually, when I joined the chambers, when I learned more about what you guys did for the community and what you did for Hudson, and it was one of the best things where I was actually able to I was able to meet you, which we'll get into after about how we met, which is crazy because it was really fun being able to. But anyways, you guys went and did something for this town, which just goes to show the kindness, the big heart you are, the humble person you guys are to do this for the town. And this is, I'm going to tell you right now, and this is what I always tell my wife. I do all these things because I want it to, it's going to come back. You guys doing what you did, it's all comes back to you.
Yeah.
No matter what, at the end of the day, you guys might have some slow droughts here and there, but guess what? It's going to come back because this town's never going to forget what you did. And you guys are going to continue to stay open. You're going to continue to be successful because of the people you are.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I was able to build a friendship, with you, which was so cool, man, which we'll get into in a second. But for what you guys did, and it's crazy because the day that I was able to give you guys the award later on, I know it was later on when I was with the chamber, but I actually got to meet you, hand you the award and everything like that, and hear what you guys did made me go, okay, so what is it now I can do for my town? And I'm not going to copy. I'm not going to go. I'm going to do something different where I can be a part of the community, but also help my community and be them. And I will say you guys were definitely a stepping stone for that for me. You guys,
I appreciate that. You
guys showed me a better way of being to basically say how to be a better person. Because if anybody would have met me in the past, they would have not. And people that do know me, I was a complete ass.
Same with me.
Especially working in the kitchen, I was not a good person. But when I actually saw what you guys were doing for the town, and then I opened these doors, I said, I want to do something for the town. What is it I can do to help them? And how can I help this community grow? And it was because of what you guys did. So I said, okay, what is it I can do? I own a detail shop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't own a restaurant. So I can't be giving out, I mean, I can hand out turkeys. I can have a thing I might even do this year where I might actually hand out turkeys here to help out certain people, certain amount of people. But I found a different way to go about it to help out the town. And that's by publicizing and letting people know who exists and who's here. And here's episode 8. And you're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you need the publicity? No, but it's just good because I want the community to know more about you guys. You know what I mean?
I think it's everybody. I mean, there's so many restaurants in the area. The restaurant business is a very, very not small network, but it has ownership. It is small. A lot of people know people. Like with Nashua, like when we went into Nashua, like I just said, Martha's Exchange, Mike Buckley of Surf and MTs, back in high school, like Mike Buckley worked at Levi Lowell's. That's where I went to high school, was in Merrimack. So I know Mike Buckley way back then. The owners of San Francisco Kitchen, they came in all the time. Peddler's daughter, the dude that was one of the main guys there, went to high school with him. Not Peddler's daughter, Panucci's.
The Nooch.
Panucci's.
Yeah, the Nooch.
Peddler's daughter and stuff like that. The owner would come in every once in a while. Then you have Gyros and 7-Star Pizza. Tommy, I believe his name was. He would come in with Billy Focus, into Luke's and stuff like that. And then Billy was talking to me, and we got into town, and Billy came over and congratulated. So it was like a huge full circle. Mike Buckley came down, was talking to me in the back parking lot, and it was just like it was family.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it's not, to me, anyways. It's not competition, and a lot of people think that it's just like, this restaurant's better than this restaurant, and this restaurant, sucks, and this one doesn't do this, and I love this one, and that's awesome. That's awesome that you have the opinions. There's something for everybody at either place. Like I go, like straight up, I've had business meetings over at T-Bone's. The lettuce wraps, favorite thing of mine on the menu. What was it? Down in not Salem, Cheesecake Factory. The original owner of Cheesecake Factory, that gentleman is my wife's uncle's brother. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I found that out, I was like, holy crap, and my wife's uncle and stuff owns a restaurant equipment company that like builds restaurants for like prisons and colleges and stuff like that. So it's an amazing network, and there's so many people that I had the pleasure of meeting that have to do with so many different restaurants. there's so much to choose from, and it's not like, I don't know, it's not to me, it's not a competition. There's plenty to go around for everybody. We're all just trying to we're here to give a little piece of love. Like I express love in food. Shit, like
Listen, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like food is my expression of love, and and environment and peace and just serenity. And it's awesome that there's Hudson has so many different places. Reds, Soho, white birch, T-bones, Rocco's. What was it? Professor's Pizza. Way back in the day, Professor's Pizza, the bar that's in there over on the side, and I think Jimmy still owns it. He owns Chicken and Chips in Nashua, or did. I think he just sold it or something.
Yeah, no, it's a different owner of Chicken and Chips.
Yeah. So that bar, when you go into Professor's, look over to the left, there's that huge bar in the back that's all like built in the shelving and all that stuff. And the bar itself, me and my buddy from Scott, who worked at Comcast with me, he used to live here in Hudson. He went to Alvern. We built that bar. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the coolest thing.
Because I'm gonna throw you something at you. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So crazy it is. As much as I wasn't born here in the wonderful Hudson, I lived in Nashua. Right? So Rocco's, right?
Yeah.
My aunt Connie owned that.
Oh, really?
So way back it was called Connie's breakfast place. And what's funny is,
know that.
So you ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for this? I actually went and did Rocco's windows. I tinted their windows.
I saw that.
Okay?
I saw that.
So you know what? Every time I walked in there was always the rug. There's always the rug that's on the floor right when you walk in the door.
Yeah.
This gave me goosebumps. And actually, Brendan was with me, my media guy, and we were going in, and they had the rugs up. My aunt's name's right there and still in the stonework, Connie's.
Oh, no way.
So back in the day, I'm talking like back in the day, like. So if people really know Nashua very well, Good Dale's actually used to be where Peddler's Daughter is. So way back in the day, Buffet, where Peddler's Daughter is, not Panucci's, but Peddler's Daughter. Yeah. They used to be called Good Dale's. One of my second uncles used to own Good Dale's, believe it or not. So the Blazes, there we go. So my aunt, same time that Good Dale's was in Nashua, she owned Connie's right there in where the plaza is, where Rocco's is. And it was a breakfast joint. No. I used to go there with my mom when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
Do pancakes, everything. And it was weird too, because when I saw it was Rocco's, I told my wife this a million times. And maybe I didn't know if I was sounding crazy or not, but I'm like, oh, my Aunt Connie owned this place. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. And she's like, that's really cool. But I would always say, I'm like, yeah, my Aunt Connie used to own Connie's. And then I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe it wasn't this place. Like, I thought I was way crazy. Because across the street used to be the White Hen a long time ago.
I remember that.
So it used to be White Hen.
Yeah.
But I used to always go, yeah, that's Connie's. That used to be my Aunt Connie's. Sure enough, that day when we went to go tint those windows, and I lifted up, and there's, right there in the stonework, right there on the floor, it says Connie's, established and everything.
That's so sick that they kept that.
Dude, it actually,
awesome
it touched, and it was funny, Josh, the owner of Rocco's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him, like, my aunt used to own this, and then sure enough, right there, I was like, yeah, look, you guys kept it. He goes, yeah, we never wanted to fill it in.
That's
Dude,
amazing.
It was the greatest thing to see, so it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. My aunt did own this place.
Yeah.
So it was one of the coolest things in the world, man, to still see, and historical, and what is it, 2025? And, it's crazy that it's still in the stonework there.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of history. There's a lot of history here. There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of growth. Like, what was it? The Good Place.
Yeah.
Donna's. I had I had a life coach at the time. He lived here in Hudson. He was my life coach and stuff, and we actually spoke to Donna. Donna wanted to sell Donna's to us because, Luke's. And my life coach was like, hey, let's do it. So we started talking to her and stuff. Long story short, that didn't happen. Now, one of my best friends from high school, her sister, Heather, is involved with the Good Place.
We're actually going to have Josh on next week.
Yeah.
The owner of, actually, technically, he's the owner, right?
Yeah.
Josh is the owner, yeah.
He's like the David.
Yes,
He's
yes,
like the
there
David,
it
he's
is.
like the David in my business.
So Josh will be on next week. So tune in next week. We're going to have the Good Place.
Yeah, and they expanded too.
Yeah,
the little coffee shop.
The little shop, the little hut. What used to be a coffee shop way back in the day buffet.
Yeah.
Way
And
back
then
in
they
the
bought that. That's that forever.
50-cent
and now
coffees
they
back
open
then. It used to be 50 cents.
Yeah. The
You
little,
go pull in, get a coffee. So my Owen, who works for me, his grandfather, Wayne, actually, we used to drop him off at the Brox. So before we used to go to drop him off, we used to go there and get him a coffee. But that's what his coffee place was. He would always go there and get a coffee there.
Yeah.
And then he'd go to Brox because Brox is right here in Hudson.
That's awesome.
So let's start off with, how do we meet, dude?
How did we meet? Well, way back in the day. No. No, it was luckily it was with the chamber, part of the chamber and stuff like that.
No, I want to tell you before that.
Well, when you came in,
No, before that. So I was ready for this. I'm gonna throw this at you. So I was so excited because I was getting calls from different people, right?
Yeah.
And it was during my slow season, which was like, I want to say it was snow time. You called me. You're like, hey, what's going on? My name is Jason. I'm looking to get my car
I'll get
tinted.
my truck done. My Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to get it tinted. I was like, well, I don't know. I'm like, what can you do? Well, I have today off. I'm like, you know what? Let's get you in. You know what? And that's how I actually met. And we actually sat and talked. I actually had to call you. I had to ask for permission if I can cut a part of your seal because we had to take the door panel off.
Yeah.
But dude, that's exactly how I met you because we sat there and we talked
For hours.
the whole time.
Your wife was pissed.
No, that wasn't that time.
Oh.
No.
She gets pissed every time we talk.
Yeah, I know because
You don't
we
go
talk.
home.
We don't talk for 5 minutes.
Yeah, you don't go home.
But this was actually no. The time we'll get into that one after. No, so this one I actually was on the clock. I was working, and you came in, and you were so stoked about my tint.
Yes.
You were so stoked, and then you brought your car in later on.
Yeah.
You were like, "Hey, I want to get my car done. Can you make my car look good?" And you're like, "Holy crap! I can't believe you brought this thing back to life."
Yeah.
And then this is the big thing, right? You called me one day, you're like, "Hey, I need you to come check out. Can you do some? Is there any way you can come do some estimates on our tint on our windows?"
Yep.
And I said, "All right." And then I actually had to work that night because I was working at Pine Hill also. I was working at Pine Hill. Is it Pine Hill? Pine Acres, Alpine Grove.
Alpine Grove.
I was their bartender over there. I had to bartend like banquets, whatever. You called me like, "Hey," I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be over here this day." And it was funny. You and I. So I did all the measurements, got them all done, and then you and I met. We sat outside. We watched the first group of people go in.
Yeah.
And then they came out. We sat out there for what, 2 hours?
At least.
And then I'm looking. I'm like, crap, I got to get to work. But I couldn't stop. We just kept talking.
Yeah.
And it was like one thing. You tell your side of the story, and then I tell mine. Then you teared up at one of my things I was
It's
telling you.
parallel lines, man.
Yeah.
It's walking parallel lines at different times in the world. Yeah. 100%.
But dude, it was great. And then honestly, dude, we built a really good friendship. We seriously built
Yeah. 100%.
a really good friendship just from that, dude. And it was not even that. I mean, well, you know, it was an honor to being able to give you the award a couple years ago with the chamber because that was the first time I was put on the board. And you know, I was like, you know what? I hear all the good things that Luke does. I'm like, let's vote for them. Like they've done so well. And honestly, that was the first time you were ever in a suit. You don't wear suits often. You're not a suit guy.
I hate
But
suits.
you came in, dude. You made it stylish though. The shoes you still had. You still had the Vans on.
Always.
Respect.
Always.
We came in with the plum suit.
Yep.
It was nice, dude.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was an honor to be able to give you that award. And I was like, yo, I mean, this guy is so chill. Like he's so humble. And I'm like, I can't wait to be able to sit down and talk with him one day. And then sure enough, dude, you call me like, hey, listen, I need you to come check out my windows. I want to tint them all. What do you think? I want your opinion. You know, what can we do? And I was like, yeah, let's figure it out. Let me see what I do. And then we started just talking. You know, and that started our relationship. You know what I mean?
100%.
And
it was. I wanted you to do the tint. You know, with the car. I wanted you to do the detailing with the car. I wanted you to do the tint with the business and stuff because I don't want to sound arrogant because I'm the furthest thing from being arrogant. I'm the furthest thing from like, I mean, this is me. The summertime, I'm shorts and flip flops. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't know. Then that's just how I've always been. You know, but it's when you have somebody who's been blessed with climbing the ladder of life and being able to be what people would call successful. I want to see other people become successful. I want to see other businesses grow. I want to help other businesses. I want to inspire other people to be able to to grow themselves, maybe not with the business or doing anything. Like every single person that works for me, I want them, like my cooks and stuff, every single time we do stuff, especially Mother's Day and the main holidays, it's like, I want you to come up with a special, your signature special that creates, that is all about you and your personality. And it's the same thing with the drinks. You go into the bar, you look at the special menu, you know, it's like Denise's drink, Lindsay's drink, you know, B's drink, Kendra's drink, the whole 9 yards. Like everybody that works there, that's their signature drink because that's their personality. That's how you get to know the person.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing with the cooking. The cooking's in the back of the house, so a lot of people don't get to meet them like they do with the servers and the bartenders and the you know, our hosts and the takeout people and the whole 9 yards. To where I want them to create a signature dish, to where people will be they either love it and they know that it's that person. So if that person ever leaves and opens up their own place, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, this person, no, they're not here anymore. They open up a restaurant over there. They go over there. They know
Where they came from.
They know where they not only where they came from, but they know that if they like that food,
They're good.
it's going to be where they are.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like I want people to grow. I want people to leave and open up their own restaurant. I want people to either maybe leave and, you know, teach people how to teach other people how to cook. You know, I had a person that asked me to go down to Florida and help them open up a restaurant. You know, I want people to grow. I want all my guys to grow. When I grow, they all grow.
But that's the best way to do it. By the way, real quick off topic again. We should come up with a very loud burger called the Be Nice Burger, and it's so loud.
I'll tell you what,
I mean loud.
I will run a Be
Dude,
Nice
and I'm
burger.
always saying this. Listen, I'm sorry, but like just like when you go to bite into it, it's like like maybe it's like wicked spicy or something.
Well, let's go,
Yeah.
burger. Like,
Let's go.
I'll have like a button, a let's go button that comes out with
They
the
go
plate.
to-
You just hit the button.
Dude,
Yeah, 100%, dude.
I'm sorry. I hear all this and I can just imagine it. Somebody going, oh my God, this is so great. Yeah. Oh, that must be the Brandenburg. He's freaking loud as hell.
We'll do. I'll tell you what. I'll make it. We will. I'll tell
Honestly,
you we will. I'm gonna have you sit down with Derek.
Yeah.
I'll have you sit down with Derek. You come up with a dish, whether it's a burger, pizza, whatever. We'll figure that out. I'll run it for a month, and we'll donate proceeds from that to your choice of charity.
Oh my God, I would love to. And then you know what? And then I'll also cut whatever you guys make. I'll do the same, and I'll.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
All right.
Fucking love it, buddy.
All right.
I forget.
All right,
Let's go.
You gotta find one of them buttons where it's like that button you get from Staples.
Yeah.
Like the yes button or whatever the hell it is. You gotta find one that says.
I will do everything in my power to see if we can find one. You hear that, Brennan? We got to find a let's go button.
Yeah.
So what's a typical day
For what?
for Luke's? What's a typical day at Luke's?
It's a very blessed day. Is a typical day.
Okay. All
You know,
right.
It's any day. Any day is a blessed day.
That's all that matters.
You know, the restaurant's open. Everybody gets to go to work. Not gets to go to work. Everybody gets to go home. You know, and they do their thing and master their craft and let people have an amazing experience. It's a blessed day. It's a blessed day. Every day is a blessed day.
What's your future look like? What is you and Christine's future looking like?
Well, Erica, our daughter, she's the one that does all the social media and marketing and everything, like the Facebook posts and everything. She decided to take that over because I don't know that. Like if I didn't have restaurants, I wouldn't be on Facebook. You know, I don't like social media and that Instaface, whatever that other freaking what is it? Instagram. That's it, Instagram. Yeah, like all that. You know what I mean? All that tech. Yeah, like all that stuff is like it's great. It's great. You know, but it's not my specialty. You know, so my daughter took that over. My son Ian, he does all of our clothing. The hats, the sweatshirts.
Dude, the shirts are so cool. I have, I think, about 30 of them because of you.
Yeah.
Just want to say.
He does. So my son does all that. Like I said, my oldest son, he's a chef over at Black Forest still. JJ, he's moving home from Seattle because he wants to start learning the business and the industry and stuff like that, so he can take over some of the parts of the business.
Really?
That we grow. Yeah, he's coming home. I think Christine's flying out in the week after Christmas, I believe, and then they're driving home, and he's gonna move back to New Hampshire to learn because it's the whole family wants to do it now. You know, Ian wants to do his thing. His business, we're very blessed. His business is growing. Will is, you know, he's doing his thing. It's very well taken care of over there. They kept him. my granddaughter, they kept her. You know, JJ's coming home to learn the business. We grow. You know, maybe he'll take one of the other restaurants. Erica take another restaurant. Whatever. We keep growing. We grow.
I love it.
My end goal is everybody that's there is going to have the ability to grow. You know, like other people want to run a bar, they can go over to another restaurant and run that bar. That's my goal. When the time is right is when it will happen.
You know, they always come back,
You know?
though. Right.
Always.
It's the truth. And sometimes what people don't understand, and I'm going to tell you this right now, and I've learned from my experience with the detail side, the grass is never greener on the other side. No. Just because you think everything's all peaches and cream because you think it's going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, man, and I'm going to tell you this right now, I had a lot of people think about my downfall. And I didn't let that happen. Because just because you leave here, but the thing is, as long as this thing right here and my work still pushes out, I'm still going to continuously, I'm going to be busy. And the only reason is because it's not always about me. It's about the community, just like you guys. Just about the community. You know, you let me do a commercial for you. We did one for Axe Play, which was awesome to do. Yeah. You know, we shot all these commercials for people, and I love it. And the reason why I do it is because I want the town to make sure they start using these people as their business. Because at the end of the day, you know, like I know you and Axe Play do a thing, right? You get a receipt, 10% off.
Yeah. It's pretty. We try and do it with everybody in the plaza. Like FitLab comes over, you know, they do some advertisement. They hand out cards and stuff. It's every time at the end of the year. You know, everybody does their New Year's tradition. Like, you know, like I'll say, you know, my New Year's tradition is I'm gonna work out more. Am I gonna? Probably not. You know what I mean? But they do that to grow their business. That's their marketing niche. You know, what is it? The Hair Garden, Sarah. We have stuff with her where you come into the restaurant, you get 10% off. Bring a receipt from the restaurant, go over there, get your stuff done, your hair and all that stuff. To everything that she offers, you get 10% off there. Matt, you know, you go over there, come over to my restaurant, you get 10% off at my restaurant with his receipt, and vice versa. You know, you want to cater your party over there. Matt comes over to us, and you know we cater his parties. You know, Pizza King. We got into a bind one time. You know, we couldn't get it was gloves. It was gloves. We couldn't get gloves. Went over there. Hey boss, you know, can we grab a case of gloves? Yeah, here you go. You know, we got a case of gloves. Went over there. You know, it's everybody's cool with everybody. The Verizon store, I think they have a whole thing where I think it's like anybody in the plaza gets a discount at the Verizon store and stuff. So it's really cool. Just like we do every Christmas time. It's bringing a receipt from one of the stores in the community, you know, and you get 10% off your bill. And it's any store in the community, whether it's another restaurant or whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, just support.
I think I want to try and work something out because gift card season's coming up.
Yep.
And I think if people come in and get a gift card from me, maybe I can say if they came here, got a gift card, maybe they get a percentage off over at Luke's. We can probably try to do something like that.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for them. If they, you know, they buy a gift card for you, they get $10 off, $20 off a detail.
Anything here, yeah.
If you want to do something, maybe we sit down and talk about that.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I always thought about doing that. I mean, $20, man. It's not gonna, you know, it help out. If especially helps with somebody that wants their card done and get more people to walk into our doors. Yep. And like, you know, that time you let me shoot that commercial for your business was really cool. I gotta tell you,
it was fun.
That was.
It was fun. It was fun.
Oh, you guys have a banquet room, correct?
We do.
I think I was there this weekend. Yeah. My wife threw me a super early birthday party.
Yeah.
Which was phenomenal. She made me tear up.
Months in the work.
Yeah.
Months in the work.
How many's the seat? Like what's a typical function you can do over there, like for the banquet room?
Comfortably it's like 70 people, but we have an overflow room. Like we've had functions of, I think it was like 110. To where we have the function room, and then right outside the function room there's a music room.
Yep.
We have weddings there also. My wife Christine, she's an ordained minister.
Yep.
So she's performed, I think 4 or 5 weddings there. And what they do is like in their little alcove, which is a private area in the music room, they'll put like a curtain up and, you know, champagne and all that stuff, and the bride gets ready over there, and then they have the ceremony and stuff, and they do it all nicey nice. I think that there was a video shot of that that's on Facebook. But yeah, it does like 70, 70, a little over 75 people comfortably. We've had, like, we actually just had a Sweet 16 in there where they had the dancing and stuff. Bereavements, tons and tons. They're not bereavements, they're celebrations of life.
Yep. I actually had mine. We had ours over there.
Yep, celebrations of life. There's tons of them that we've had in there. We've had ceremonies. We've had lawyers bring high clients in for, like, filet mignon dinner, sit down. We've had other companies that do presentations and stuff. They come in, set up the room with the thing. They rent it for the day. They will do breakfast setups. Other ones do the same thing for high-end clients. They'll do dinners. We have insurance companies that come in and do it. We have business holiday parties. The kids' birthday party. Like, there's just anything and everything. Like, the room is it's a beautiful. We remodeled the entire room.
did.
Well, my wife remodeled the entire room and looks absolutely gorgeous.
It is beautiful in there. You got a full bar in there too.
Yep, very
Full
personable, very homey. And you set it up. You pick the colors. You set it up however you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, the function room is beautiful, man. You guys did a very good job with that. It looks clean. It looks wonderful. I mean, in there, like, you walk in there, you're like, wow, it's like a whole new world.
Yeah.
You guys killed it on that. And even inside the restaurant, if you guys get a chance to just take a walk around the restaurant, go inside, check out the dining room, check out the music lounge, check out the bar area. Bar area is where it's popping. I will tell you, you go in there, it's right when you walk in the door, it's popping. Trust me. Yeah. You go in there, everybody, it's like Cheers there. Everybody's going to find out, or they're going to know your name. Trust me. I walk in there sometimes and it's like, I forget who I am. And people are like, Brandon, what's going on? I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? My thing is like, well, where's Jay? I'm looking for Jay. So, I go in, I always walk in. I always want to say hi, and it's the love in that restaurant. So before we go, I want to ask, what is it? You have anything to say to people out there? Anything you want to let people know, or, anything, any upcoming events, anything like that?
Well, I mean, my daughter runs all that for the upcoming events and stuff. We have the 20th, December 20th, I believe it is. Or no, I'm sorry, November 20th. We have the Holly Jolly. We teamed up with Mel's Fun Park, just like we did with Spooky World. We have the Holly Jolly event where they're going to have Santa Claus. Buddy the Elf will be there.
Hope you find your dad.
I still haven't found mine, man. So,
I'm sorry. Every time I watch that movie.
Went out for a pack of smokes and a gallon of milk, never came back.
I hope you find your dad.
What's her name? The from Frozen.
Elsa?
That's it.
I don't know.
She'll be there.
I'm going on a whim here, bud.
She'll be. Yeah, I'm sure you watched it. No.
Do you want to build a snowman?
She'll be there. Frosty the Snowman and stuff. So what we're doing is we're gonna have a section to where parents can take pictures with the kids, so they take pictures with Santa or whoever, and the money that's raised I think it's gonna be like $10. The money that's raised from that, we're taking every single penny that everybody pays for that. We're gonna take it, put it aside, and then at the end of the night, we're gonna figure out how much it is. We're gonna split it in half. So half of that money that's raised with the pictures, with the Santa and everybody, half of that fund is going to go to the Hudson Food Pantry, and the other half of that fund is going to go to the Litchfield Food Pantry because they're out in Litchfield.
Love it. Let me ask you a question. You got anything going on Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays in the morning?
So, no, not right now. Sundays we have the football. So it's football season, so we have all that going on, where it's the quarterly raffles. Every Patriots game, I think their bye week is December 14th. Is their bye week, so we'll pick one of the games for the 1 o'clock, and we'll do the raffles for that. But that the bar is packed.
Do you do any wing specials or anything?
Every week. Friday, Saturday, and Sundays we have Chef Derek and the guys in the kitchen. They come up with weekend specials. That's where we normally do it, like Fridays and Saturdays, but we just carry it over to Sunday because people still ask for them. So we run them. That rotates every single week. I think the second week of every month we do prime rib on the weekend. We just run it that one time. And then we just the seasonal menu, and our menu changes probably like 4 times a year, maybe 3 times a year, the regular menu, because we're just constantly evolving with new ideas, and the chefs are coming up with new amazing items. And we do the drink specials. We have the drink of the week every week, which is, again, we pick one. The bartenders are on a rotation, so they come up with their own signature drink every single week. There's a brand new one.
What about breakfast?
The breakfast, we did the breakfast route. We stopped.
Okay, all right.
We stopped.
Okay.
We stopped the breakfast because it was ironing out a couple things for something that may not be coming.
See
in
now,
2026.
But the thing is, I got to tell you, the corned beef and hash, dude.
Amazing.
But listen, you made my wife. Like my wife did a video for you guys. Listen, get her on the.
She didn't want to eat it either.
Huh?
She didn't want to eat it either.
No, and I got her on there, but she killed. But listen, the corned beef and hash was so good. If you guys. I wish you guys could try it. I'm telling you right now, maybe put it on like the late night. I don't know. Breakfast.
Listen,
I'll just tell you, it was so good, bud.
It was an example. It's the love. It's the love. Like the corned beef, we made the corned beef the day before.
It was
and
good.
hand shredded it. And
Brendan and I went there for breakfast. We ate so much food. We ate so much food that day.
It's a lot of love.
Well,
I have a question.
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge with the breakfast? And what?
The biggest challenge with the breakfast, it was the hours. A lot of it was, starting very early in the day, which you absolutely 100% should.
Did you keep the same staff for breakfast that you did?
Well, that's the thing, is the staffing part of it, to open up, to do, like, breakfast traditionally, would start at like 6 or 7 a.m. Could I do that and have my guys there and we only did it like Saturdays and Sundays, like, my guys would be there. Like, if we started breakfast at 7, they'd have to be there at like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
to get everything prepped.
And then we close, the restaurant closes itself at 10 o'clock at night. And me as a manager or anybody else, like the guys in the kitchen, the bartenders and stuff, they don't leave until like 11:30 midnight. So that's it would be a whole nother staffing route, so that was one of the challenges. Because a lot of the comments and stuff were, why is the breakfast from 8 to 11 or 9 to 11? Because of that changeover. When I worked at Martha's, we did breakfast 7 to 11. Lunch started at 11:30. Could people order order in after 11 o'clock for appetizers and stuff? Yeah, but that was one of the biggest things was keeping us. That would be the longest day of anybody's life. And if I split the shifts, then I'd have to hire a lot more people, probably like another crew of like 4 or 5 people.
I will tell you, so that's probably one of the hardest things to do, because I worked for Not Your Average Joe's, and I was working I was in the process of, I was a supervisor, not a sous chef. I was a supervisor. That's what they called me. Mm-hmm. And so Not Your Average Joe's decided they wanted to do breakfast.
Yeah.
Now they're already a $5 million company. The first year we made them their first $5 million in the first year when we opened the location on Daniel Webster
That's
Highway.
amazing.
$5 million in the first year. We did that. So I got to open that restaurant, and they decided they wanted to do breakfast. Now Mother's Day on that day was probably one of the hardest Mother's Days besides the one I did at Smoky Bones. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when I worked at Smoky Bones, I will tell you that Mother's Day, from when I walked into the door, because they gave away free meals to every mother that walked through the door, as long as you were with a family. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now, I got there at 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't go home till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
that's not a joke either, because the last person I walked in at 11.
I believe it.
So it was one of those things. But I will tell you, one of the hardest things was when I was working at Not Your Average Joe's, they wanted to do breakfast, and they never rolled out breakfast. They had no plan.
Yeah.
And the thing is, at 11 o'clock exact, and they would still run breakfast, at 11 o'clock exact, then you could order the lunch menu. Mm-hmm. So now, not only did I have the busiest station there, but I'm also the only one that cooks. I'm the one who's the only one cooking the breakfast. So not only am I doing full menu for lunch, I'm doing full menu for breakfast, because I'm the one who did the pancakes, I'm the one who did the eggs, I'm the one who did the bacon, everything. And dude, it is one of the hardest things, especially when you're understaffed.
Yep.
And I get it. But I will tell you, man, I mean, I hope you guys bring it back, but I enjoyed your breakfast, and I thought it was amazing. One more little tough question for you.
Yeah.
How are things with the DoorDash? Was it something that, is there pros and cons about it? Like, what is...
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, we do DoorDash and we do Uber Eats. We also put on the website, order online, which goes right over to the DoorDash platform. One of the biggest things about that is the price difference, but what a lot of people may or may not know is that DoorDash and Uber Eats does our pricing on their menu. Mm-hmm. So I think it's like a 25% markup or something like that. 20 something percent markup.
Better off just doing takeout, guys.
Yeah, so I mean, you just call the restaurant, you do a pickup, it'll be a lot cheaper. But everybody and anybody that orders through DoorDash knows that you're gonna pay. That's the convenience fee.
Okay.
It's like living in California. You got the sunshine tax, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing it. But yeah, it's some of the stuff that we have, some of the messages that we get are, can we order online but pick up? You know what I'm saying? No, I don't have that option. Where I'm working with the point of sale company that we have to see if there's something that people can order online without them accruing another fee. It should be the similar way of just calling in and picking it up. Some people also asked if we do delivery ourselves. Have I thought about that? Yes. Have I spoke to my insurance company about doing that? Yep. Am I going to do that? Nope.
All right, so all right. Well, at least you guys got DoorDash, and I know there was some difficult times with it, but I guess people nowadays, they are going to do it. Some people are lazy. They don't care. They don't care about the fees or anything like that.
I've ordered DoorDash before.
Yeah, I mean we all do. I mean, back in the day, I wish we had McDonald's DoorDash. Remember that? That would have been awesome.
So I know one of my cooks when he's at home. He orders McDonald's.
No, but I'm saying back in the day when we were kids, imagine if we had McDonald's DoorDash.
Yeah, man, no.
Dude, but we used to go to
You'd
McDonald's.
have to sit on the floor with a long cord off the phone. There's no ordering.
I need to get Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Brendan, you have any questions? You got none? Listen, my media guy is on point. He's like a ballpoint pen. I love this kid.
All right, come over here. So
is this your media guy?
Brandon does my website. Man.
Oh, come on in, B. Rabbit.
Y'all need.
Hey, by the way, this is the guy behind. Get over here a second. Hold on,
This
listen.
is the man.
This is the guy behind it all.
Man.
If it wasn't for Brendan, I'm telling you right now, this podcast wouldn't happen. No. And actually, little thing here is Jay and I are actually in the process. We're going to be doing a podcast soon.
Yes, sir.
And we were going to start one on earlier, but I think the better time is going to be when things we're kind of slowing down a little bit. Now we can actually sit down, make it up. But this guy right here, I got to give my thanks to my business. I got to give thanks to him for all the media that he helps me put together, all my commercials I get together, me able to go around this town. I got to thank Brendan so much. This is the man behind the camera. Listen, if you are looking for a really good media guy, you're looking for, what else do you do, buddy? Come on, help me out.
Media, websites, anything marketing is I try to help with. It's just, you go to me, you ask, it's going to be a yes.
He does Porsche.
Yeah, I do Porsche for America. I do a lot of stuff. I try to get my hands in a little bit of everything.
Listen, this guy is amazing, and I promise you, listen, give him a chance. See the work that he does. Listen, I was your first. I was almost like your first, right? You came in.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to build my portfolio.
Yeah, that's how I came in, and I actually got my tint from him before I worked with him.
He did.
Coming twice for tint.
Now all the videos of the cars and stuff is all him.
Yeah.
But he is the reason why Be Nice Detailing is growing and continuously growing. We built and the thing is, at the end of the day, he's not just my media guy. He's actually my buddy.
Yeah.
We're friends. You know what I mean? I introduced him to Jay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's opening more doors for himself. So distinctive media right here. This is why it's happening. This is why Business and Brews is happening. Special guest right here. Special guest Brendan.
I'll get a microphone soon. Don't worry.
Hey, Jay, thank you so much, buddy, for being on my show. It's probably going to be the longest episode I've had, but I don't care.
Good.
Hey, listen, thank you so much, buddy. And I actually can't wait for our podcast. I'm excited for that.
No, thank you, and thank you to everybody in this community that shows my staff love, support. all the comments on Facebook, everybody that just comes in and just like the kind words and the beautiful stories that we hear every single day. Like people just come in and start talking with my wife and I. We love hearing the stories. We love being a part of this community. It's such a warm, embracing community. And the support that everybody has for everybody, if that support and love for everybody would grow, and everybody's just kind and want to see everybody grow, like this community that already is amazing would
Even
explode.
better.
It would explode. There's so much talent in businesses that are available here. There's so much talent, like the kids in the sports programs and everything. Like I just can't. Like my son went to school here. We lived in this community. Like it's a great place to be, and we're so blessed to be a part of this, and we're so blessed to have like this beautiful ride of life that we're on with everybody that's on board, and all we want to do is just show much love and respect and just welcome everybody. When you come to Luke's, you're walking into your home, and we can't thank everybody enough for the love and support that you guys have, not just for my wife and I, but for all of our staff who come to work every single day and grind because they want to master their craft, and you all show the support for them, and I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much.
Hudson, we love you so much.
Thank you.
This is Brendan from Business and Brews. This is my man Jason from Luke's. Stay humble and let's go!